Hello, welcome back. So, I did watch Wednesday season 2 in honor of our dearly departed J Dot, because she was a huge fan of Wednesday season 1 and a huge fan of Jenna Ortega. So, in J Dot's memory, I did watch Wednesday season 2. And it remains a well made teen comedy horror thriller drama with Wednesday Adams dropped into it. Because this season has even more as the rest of the Adams family like major roles. You know, the first season it was basically just all Wednesday. The other Adams family, the other Adamses were there. They did show up, but they weren't major presence. This season is they are a major presence. This is the Adams family, which it makes it all the more clear how this is not an Adams family show. Because when they started off as a cartoon, by which I mean like a comic, they were just like just these comedic images that Charles Adams published. They were funny, and as a lot of it was down to just this family of weird, morbid people who really went against the norm of American society and who were genuinely happy and loved each other. And that was sort of that was always the key to the Addams family. That as weird as they are, that as much as they absolutely do not fit in with normal society, they don't really care because they love each other and they're happy as a family. While this show, Wednesday, really does not embrace that at all. It embraces absolutely no aspect of what made the Addams family special, to be honest. Yeah, they're weird, they're dark and morbid and all that, but like, that still misses a lot of the point of them. It really plays up tension in the family, especially between Wednesday and Morticia, which, like, eh. Really plays up the tension between Wednesday and Morticia. It's a big part of this season. And even by the end, it's at the end of the season, it's still not really resolved. Um, Pugsley plays a big role. I suppose I don't really have enough of an opinion about Pugsley to really. I never like aside from the '90s Addams Family and Addams Family Values movies. I didn't really, I don't have much experience with the Addams Family. So Pugsley, I don't know what Pugsley's character is really supposed to be in the classic Addams Family, if he even has one, frankly. Aside from being Wednesday's victim. And I mean, this one has a couple references here and there to that, but not really a lot, honestly. Actually, looking him up, he's supposed to be devious and brilliant. Though that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, here he's just. He's almost normal. Um, he's certainly not just portrayed as being particularly intelligent, which I guess, just taking a look at his Wikipedia article, he's supposed to be kind of a genius. Thick, but brilliant, like an inventor. And that's absolutely not shown at all. That he has any sort of inventive capabilities, any sort of scientific acumen. Um, I don't know. It's just he doesn't really feel like Pugsley. He does have the same sort of electricity powers that Uncle Fester has, um, but yeah, he doesn't really feel like nothing about him feels like Pugsley. Gomez is great. Absolutely no complaints about Luis Guzman as Gomez. He is pretty much perfect. You know, absolute family guy, family man. Total husband guy or wife guy. Sorry, total wife guy. Always trying to hit on Morticia. Um, Loves his kids. He's great as Gomez. Uh, Catherine Zeta-Jones does do a phenomenal job as Morticia. While I don't really entirely approve of the plot line of the story of Wednesday and Morticia being distant from each other, Zeta-Jones is incredible as Morticia. And then obviously, um, Ortega is great in the role of Wednesday. Most of the other people are great as well. Uh, this season introduces Steve Buscemi as the new principal, and can't complain about Steve Buscemi, and he's great. Obviously, love Steve Buscemi. Enid remains a lot of fun. The friendship between Wednesday and Enid is still a big part of it, and it's a very fun friendship they've got. Uh, Again, does get strained this season. Uh, there's also a new girl who tries to become Wednesday's new best friend, and is very creepy about the whole thing. Even Wednesday does not. Even Wednesday thinks she's being a bit too much of a creep. Um, big part of this season. There's a few different subplots going on in this season. Many of them do converge. There's uh, murder mystery, of course, but then there's also the murder mystery. I don't know. It goes on for a good while, actually. The mystery does last for a while. Um, yeah, there's stuff with there's a zombie. There's uh, Tyler shows up again. The Hyde, the antagonist from the previous season, the monster antagonist from the previous season, uh, becomes a big part of it again. Um, there's a subplot where one of the students has gotten her mother out of a cult and is trying to protect her from the cult. So there's a weird cult storyline that's going on. There's kind of a lot going on, maybe too much, frankly. Uh, and yet somehow like there's long stretches where it feels like nothing is actually happening. The pacing is just so weird in that way. There are stretches where it genuinely feels like nothing is actually going on. There's no progress being made on literally any subplot. Um, for only having 8 episodes, there's a lot of wheel spinning. It does feel like there's a lot of wheel spinning for only 8 episodes. Um, I don't know, sort of too many subplots that are disconnected from each other as well, and that sort of seem like they're a lot coming together, but then kind of don't. I don't know. One thing I will say, there is a body swap episode that is actually really fun. Uh, Ortega and Emma Myers, who plays Enid, do such a good job playing each other's roles. Like, it is astonishing how good they are. Like, they sound like each other. It's uncanny how good they are in as each other, how well they do that. It's genuinely impressive from the both of them. They just knock it out of the park as each other. Um, just perfect. That aside, I can't really say I didn't hate it. It wasn't like it was. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It's just it was less good than the first season, and even the first season I felt wasn't particularly didn't feel like the Adams family. Um, and just having more of the family present somehow made it feel less like an Adams family show. I mean, I know. I mean, they're trying to, adapt it for, they're trying to do something different with it and all that. But, I don't know. I maintain that the Adams family works best when they're being contrasted with regular people. So Wednesday Addams being sent to a boarding school for just regular students would have been vastly would have been a more would have felt more like an Addams Family show. Yeah, you could still do the supernatural murder mystery stuff. You can still have monsters, but not not everyone there would be a monster. Not everyone there would have special powers. Yeah, we're like the people with powers would actually be unique. If you need people bad, and you can have like one or two other students who secretly have powers. Yeah, Wednesday discovers that this. You could have any Enid and still be a werewolf. Werewolf. Wednesday finds out that her roommate is secretly a werewolf. You could still do that if you needed to. But I do feel like that would have been the way to go. Wednesday gets sent to a for boarding school for troubled students, troubled youth. Yeah, sort of this is your last chance. It's this or you die in the streets kind of type of boarding school. And you go with the murder mystery from there. That's how I would have done it. But I suppose I'm not Tim Burton. Especially as I don't pal around with, I think at least two people. Yeah, at least two people who've been credibly accused of sexual harassment. Because composer Danny Elfman was accused of sexual harassment. And obviously, Tim Burton is good friends with Johnny Depp. Well, I suppose Johnny Depp wasn't sexual harassment. His was domestic abuse. But, regardless, that is one way in which I am not like Tim. That is one of many, many ways in which I am not like Tim Burton. I am not close friends with multiple people credibly accused of abuse or harassment. And also, I would have made Wednesday a show where she goes to a boarding school full of regular human people, students. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Wednesday Season 2. Not bad, but I genuinely wouldn't call it great, and it definitely does not capture the vibe of the Addams Family as a franchise. Adding more of the family in did not help to improve that. Anyway, next up I will watch K-Pop Demon Hunters. So I'll have a review of that up next week, next Monday. So keep an eye out for that. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.